Hello and welcome to Champ Chat. My name is Eleanor Coonan.
And I'm Quincy Conroy.
Champ Chat is a regular show at Champlain College.
This program features student-created content from Mr. O's Introduction to Broadcast Writing class.
That's right, even the ads are student-made.
But first, let's kick it off with some politics. In March, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, then a Republican candidate, brought her campaign to South Burlington. For our first news piece, George Fink went to the Doubletree Hotel to hear what she had to say.
In the days before Super Tuesday, Nikki Haley visited the Doubletree Hotel in South Burlington. Hundreds of Vermonters showed up to express their interest. That included former Governor Jim Douglas, who voiced his support for Haley.
I'm honored to be a co-chair of her campaign in Vermont and hope that she'll be successful on Tuesday and ultimately in November, and therefore our next president.
Nikki Haley's voters were mostly moderate Republicans and independents, but she is attracting some Democrats.
Because Trump is a con man, he's a walking crime wave, basically.
Other attendees showed their disinterest in Haley by interrupting her several times throughout her speech, citing her views on the Israel-Hamas conflict.
Free Palestine! Glory to the martyrs! You!
But each time security ushered the protesters out, her supporters chanted back.
Haley! Haley! Haley!
Just 3 days later, Super Tuesday brought almost 70,000 Vermonters to the polls. We asked a range of voters what they thought of Haley.
I do think she is more competent than all the other candidates on that Republican side, but I do not trust her.
Others voiced their doubts on Haley's chances in the Vermont primary.
I've got no sympathy for what she's doing on her campaign or what she's doing here in Vermont, which I see as a cynical attempt to remain relevant in a race she has no chance of winning.
Nikki Haley's visit to Vermont awarded her a victory in the state's Republican primary. But with this being her only win on Super Tuesday, she dropped out of the race, securing Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. Reporting from Burlington, I'm George Fink.
Thanks, George. Very cool piece.
It was crazy how we got that protest on camera.
Yeah, it was. Now we're going to go to downtown Burlington, where Claire Richard and I spoke to voters ahead of Super Tuesday.
Historically, Vermont has voted for Liberal-leaning candidates in national elections. Many are predicting the same outcome for the upcoming primary.
However, when we talked to voters on Church Street about who they'd be voting for this November, many seemed unsure.
I'm registered as an independent, and I don't really know who I'm going to vote for right now. I'm certainly not voting for Trump, but I'm feeling pretty hopeless with Biden.
The widely held expectation is this election will be a rematch between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. This prediction comes quite early in the process, but Super Tuesday will be a strong indicator of who will make it on the ballot in November.
17 Vermont delegates will be sent to national conventions on Super Tuesday to pick their presidential nominees. But Burlington residents still have to make their decisions.
Some voters told us they've made up their minds.
Well, I'm a Democrat, and I don't think that there's really any other options. I think it's important to vote. And I think it's really important to make sure that people come out and vote so that we don't have another potential Trump presidency.
While others are more unsure.
Between Trump and Biden, it's a little hard choices, especially since they both have been already presidents. I don't know, I feel like I'd take Trump over Biden somehow though.
I don't know yet because I will not vote for Trump, but I feel like Biden has not done a great job, so feeling pretty hopeless with that.
We asked voters what issues are driving their decisions.
I myself am an immigrant, so I believe that, the U.S. is a great place to raise your kids, to come, to have an opportunity, and I think that different ways of people coming into the country should be reformed.
I think abortion, unfortunately, I hate that it's still a part of a government kind of conversation. I think it's we need to remove it from government and let women and able bodies decide what they want to do.
So far, only 4 states have voted in their primaries, so we won't know the nominees for sure until close to June. In Burlington, I'm Claire Richard.
And I'm Eleanor Coonan.
Wow, thank you, Claire, and me. In late January, environmentalist Bill McKibben spoke at a special event at Champlain College. McKibben is the author of over 20 books and co-founder of the climate campaign group 350.org, which aims to end the use of fossil fuels. The event was sponsored by Mad River Climate Action and the college's Office of Sustainability. He spoke on his recent founding of the Third Act, a progressive organization movement for people over 60.
And it should That 1,000 people that assembled in Burlington was probably the biggest demonstration that had yet taken place in the United States about climate change.
So it's just been an incredible opportunity to get to hear from him at this event, get to ask him questions, get to poke his mind a little bit, and really learn about how he incorporates both older and younger generations in the fight to climate action.
McKibben's speech was followed by a Q&A session and book signing. More than 100 people attended the event.
For our next piece, our man Jack Cariello takes it to the streets and reports on some major road construction in downtown Burlington.
It's called Burlington Great Streets Main Street Project. It will cost $30 million and will give Main Street in Burlington a facelift.
The Great Streets Main Street Project is a comprehensive rehabilitation of a historic major corridor connecting the interstate with downtown Burlington to the waterfront and its train station. It'll go all the way from the bottom to renewing our utilities in the city.
The project has affected business owners who have businesses in the heart of the construction.
It definitely cuts down a lot on the business. You know, it's a gas station, and it's hard to get in. If you want to take a detour either way, there's construction that way, We've probably lost like $4 to $5 grand a day just in gas.
It has also made it difficult for drivers and pedestrians who usually use the area to get to places.
I don't live in the area, so I don't mind it so much, except at rush hour. Trying to get into work and to get home, I've had to completely alter my commute.
Buses that have routes on Main Street have detours. Detours have been set up on South Winooski Avenue and Pine Street. Residents will occasionally experience water outages, and the parking lot will be closed for several months. From Main Street, Burlington, I'm Jack Cariello.
Thanks, Jack. I loved it. The traffic goes crazy.
It sure does. Coming up, John and Jackson from CSPN will be taking over the anchor desk.
But first, some quick messages from Mansfield Hall and Head & Shoulders shampoo.
Head & Shoulders is America's #1 dandruff-fighting shampoo. The perfect mix of clinically proven actives and scalp-soothing ingredients to leave your hair looking and feeling better than ever. Head & Shoulders, it's our mission to free the world of dandruff.
Hi, my name is Serena Eddy, and I'm the Associate Director of Mansfield Hall, Burlington. Mansfield Hall is this wonderful community of students that are going to college, and Mansfield Hall staff help those students identify the executive functioning skills and academic skills that they would like to work on so they can succeed in college.
At Mansfield, our staff meets students where they are, giving each individual what they need.
Our goal is to help students become successful and independent in college.
To learn more, visit mansfieldhall.org.
Hello, I'm Jackson Haley.
And I'm John Howinski. And welcome to Champlain Sports Programming Network, or CSPN.
Why would anyone want to jump into Lake Champlain in February? For a good cause, of course. Special Olympics Vermont held its annual Polar Plunge, raising $500,000 for their athletes. We have two reporters who plunged into this story, Morgana Singho followed by Quincy Conroy.
The Penguin Plunge, hosted at the Burlington waterfront, is a highly anticipated winter event. For the 29th year, Special Olympics Vermont put together this event for a good cause. Community members of all ages formed teams to raise money by taking their icy dip into Lake Champlain.
Our National Honor Society at Spalding High School raised over $5,000, I think close to $6,000, and I wanted to get in with students. I told them if we met our goal, I would jump in our mascot costume, so it was really fun. A little nervous beforehand, but it really wasn't that bad.
Staff provided us with some information regarding the turnout of this event.
The turnout's been amazing. I think, as you can see, everyone's excited that we're able to host the event this year in person. We were able to reach our fundraising goal, and I think everyone's having a good time. The weather's beautiful. Water's cold, but everyone's having a good time.
A volunteer gave us some insight on the groups who were participating.
The first groups, the first waves of participants were from many different schools, mostly in the Chittenden area. And then there's a great deal of people from the community, whether it's just private individuals coming together, forming a team. You might be somebody from different businesses, sports teams, like UVM is representing, the Burlington Rugby is representing.
The Special Olympics reached their fundraising goal and everything went as planned today at the Penguin Plunge.
And now to sports. In UVM's women's hockey, it was not the season the Catamounts had in mind, finishing with 13 wins, 17 losses, and 5 ties. Back in February, my co-anchor, Jackson, caught some of the action between the Catamounts and the Yukon Huskies.
During the first period, the Huskies faced a tough offense from Vermont. 15 minutes into the period, UVM was already on the board when they bombarded Yukon with 2 quick shots less than 4 minutes apart. As the period came to an end, the Catamounts maintained their lead of 2-0, but the Huskies stayed hungry and outshot Vermont with 11 shots. The Huskies' resilience promises a tough battle, and the level of intensity was high throughout the rest of the first period and into the second. After a scoreless second period, the Catamounts scored a goal 15 minutes into the third period, elevating their lead against the Huskies. The Catamounts reigned supreme, and the game ended with a score of 3-0. In Burlington, I'm Jackson Haley.
It's time to untie our skates and strap on our cleats as we go from the ice to the gridiron. The Kansas City Chiefs edged the San Francisco 49ers 25-2 in an exciting tight game. And get this year's Super Bowl was the most watched event in American television history. It was a record high of 123 million viewers, with analysts credited in part to Taylor Swift's attendance. Don't forget the food. At one gathering in Burlington, there were iconic Super Bowl snacks like wings, chips, and dip, even apple pie. However, the main selling point for some was the halftime show.
I'm here watching the Super Bowl with some friends. Halftime show's about to come on. It's Usher. I think he's going to bring on Jungkook from BTS. That's my prediction.
Jungkook from BTS did not appear. Instead, Lil Jon, Ludacris, Luda, and others joined Usher on stage. Viewers could also tune into the Nickelodeon broadcast to get insight from the iconic SpongeBob SquarePants cast.
Coming out of left field, we go from sports to art and head down to a unique exhibit in Burlington. In February, our crews did a story on the final day of the exhibit called All the Feels at the Space Gallery on Pine Street. Nestled in the Soda Plant Complex, All the Feels featured diverse works, paintings, sculptures, and photographs lined the walls with themes that touched on the beauty of nature, the complexity of relationships, and a longing for the past. We spoke to the Space Gallery's owner, Nikki Lexar.
We put an open call out for artists to submit work that really evoked emotion. We had 100 artists participate in varying mediums and subject matter.
Along with the exhibit, patrons were allowed to peek into the studios of artists as well as the more permanent installations. You may have played with these toys as a child, but here's a story about radio control hobbyists who kick it into high gear. Waving the checkered flag on this one is my co-anchor, John Holowinski, who takes us to the Green Mountain RC Club.
Daytona, the Indy 500, and now Green Mountain RC Club. Just beyond these doors, hobbyists of all skill levels and ages are showing their radio control prowess. In the gymnasium of the Essex Alliance Church is home of the Green Mountain RC Club. Here, members meet twice a month to indulge in their hobby and help newcomers get involved. The club was founded 20 years ago by club president Al Reed to teach his son about aviation.
The club is basically here to just make it available to learn about remote control airplane flying. Flying airplanes, like anything else, takes some practice and expertise. The club is here really to help everybody.
The planes used for indoor flight are a little bit slower, have a rudder on the back for more precise turning, and are made of a rubber-like material to better handle potential crashes.
The key thing about indoor flying is we're using a much lighter weight plane. It's a slower flying plane because obviously the confines of the gym mean you're constantly turning. And depending on the plane, most of them are made out of a EPP foam, which when you feel it's almost rubbery, so it survives better in hitting walls and floors.
Uses a carbon fiber prop to keep the weight down and also so it can spin the prop quicker.
The club is an association with the Academy of Model Aeronautics, a non-profit based around model aviation. Along with model planes, the club recently expanded their RC arsenal to include cars. There are no technical requirements to participate in the club, but the price of a decent RC car will cost you between $50 and $70, with potential modifications such as rubber tires to help grip the gym floor. The club attempts to meet twice a month year-round, and during the winter it works pretty well to fly and drive indoors. In Essex, I'm John Howinski.
Next up, we go to Claire Richard and Jack Cariello.
But not before a word from Burlington artist Panda Jakey, as well as Champlain's own sound studio.
The Champlain College Sound Studio is located in room 014 in the basement of CCM, where studio employees can help with whatever you need. That includes setup, engineering, even teaching. This is the control room, where we have a solid-state logic control board, a patch bay, and speakers for playback. If you come in, our staff can run the control board for you, or show you how to record. Students can book time to use the live room, where we have a drum kit, guitars, a bass, amps, keyboards, and percussion instruments.
The things I like most about using the sound studio are the fact that I have access to a lot of good equipment and the fact that I can utilize it in a way where I can do things that I can't do at my apartment.
If your focus is on mixing, our employees have experience to help, especially with some of the analog specialties this equipment has to offer.
We are here for students and whatever they want to learn, whether it be the board, whether it be like a personal project that they're already working on. We have the stuff to do it, and we have the people to kind of help out.
If you're interested in learning more, we recommend reaching out to Sonic Arts professor John Levy, the studio manager.
We have a vast array of different microphones, an analog console, and multiple isolated recording spaces. We also have an experienced team of studio engineers that are able to help students from any major, regardless of experience, during their booked session.
Ready to book a session? Scan the QR code posted on the door to the studio. We look forward to helping you with your projects.
I need new music so badly, bro.
I agree. I've been scrolling through Zorbo and there's nothing there. Hey there, kids! Holy moly! It's Panda Jakey! I heard you're looking for new music, and I got the solution for you. What? My new song, All Tied Up. I'm all tied up right now. I'm stuck in the web that I did weave. The water's rushing down, pushing me back into the stream. She said I'm safe, but I don't really feel that way. So guys, what'd you think of my new song?
That was a banger, Panda Jakey.
Oh, thanks a million. I loved it. No problem, you guys. Stream my new song, All Tied Up, now.
Welcome back to Champ Chat. I'm Jack Cariello.
And I'm Claire Richard. Jack, did you have a good eclipse?
I had a great eclipse. The waterfront was so packed it felt like NYC.
I imagine it would. There were quite a lot of tourists, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, we're of course talking about the total solar eclipse which passed over campus this semester, something few of us had ever really seen. Many students got the day off from classes so they could enjoy the eclipse. According to NBC5, at least 160,000 people came to Vermont to observe the event. Some watched as darkness moved across the lake and arrived in Burlington, while others gazed upward until they were surrounded by sunset. Our entire Champlain community was left starstruck by this cosmic event. Back down on Earth, we had a cool event in our gym this semester. Of course, one of the goals of college is to launch a career, and career fairs help students do just that. Bailey Hilson has the story.
In the gym at Champlain College in Burlington, students get to talk to representatives from various businesses and organizations. This event, organized by Champlain Career Office, allows students to explore potential career paths and to also network.
But talking to these others can help you figure that maybe you actually want to go into like immigration and services and get a law degree and figure out what that means to you. So like be open to different suggestions and possibilities, because sometimes you're so stuck in your path that one person looking at you can say so much about you.
Numerous different businesses were set up at this event in hopes of finding students interested in applying to their specific company.
So flexibility is going to be huge. We have a ton of residential programs. We serve almost 6,000 people in Central Vermont. So if you want to work with people, we can probably find you stuff too.
The Career Collaborative understands that with the changing job market, they must be prepared to evolve and change to the dynamic landscape, saying their goals are to prepare the students for the future.
The job market of 2024 is very different from the job market of 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and so really staying in touch with employers to see what their needs are, making sure those needs get to our faculty so that they can integrate the needs into the curriculum really helps us keep on top of things.
The Career Collaborative has said they've been running this program for as long as they can remember. It really helps students bridge the gaps from being a student to going into the workforce. They say they've helped many students find different jobs in this career field.
This event is currently held every semester by Champlain College. In Burlington, I'm Bailey Hilson.
Speaking of local businesses, Champlain College and Hewlett, a startup incubator in Burlington, have joined forces to cultivate a new wave of business pioneers. The collaboration, which began last year, has included a class on entrepreneurship taught by Champlain President Alex Fernandez and Professor Chuck Bush. The big idea is for students to learn how to start their own businesses, which is just the thing Hewlett is known for.
This class has made it far easier to see what entrepreneurship looks like 5 years down the line.
The class seems to be working. Local companies have offered a number of job and networking opportunities to the students.
Valentine's Day is a time not only for love, but also for making money. Back in February, Lake Champlain Chocolates on Church Street was busy preparing, but according to retail manager Maddie Foster, there was less business on Church Street than expected. Foster says Valentine's Day accounts for 8% of annual sales at Lake Champlain Chocolates.
We have all of this packaging just made for the holidays, so it's something that we are trying to get through, but I'm still pretty optimistic.
According to the National Retail Federation, Americans spent more than $25 billion on Valentine's Day this year.
Valentine's Day is not the only holiday we have this semester. Even if you're not Irish, it's hard to deny the appeal of a St. Patrick's Day parade. Allison Valente went to the St. Patrick's Day parade in Tarrytown, New York to see for herself.
Every parade has their traditions. For Tarrytown is the Headless Horseman from the infamous legend of Sleepy Hollow.
The streets today are packed with people. Hundreds of children line the streets. Some here just to watch the parade, while others march in it.
For this community, this is an annual way to honor their Irish heritage and culture. This is the 18th year of the parade. The streets lit up with the colors of the Irish flag. The local first responders all march in the parade as well. Some throw candy from the fire trucks. Bands played lively tunes and dancers performed traditional jigs in harmony. Sometimes the music was so loud you could barely hear yourself think, but that's all part of the fun.
I've been coming to the parade every year with my family. We live right down the street. So this is just another year to come celebrate St. Paddy's Day.
Well, it's Irish music, you know, and everyone's dressed up in their, you know, like I have my Irish sweater, fisherman sweater on, and that's just part of it, you know. Everybody's Irish today.
It's always great to celebrate the heritage of the Irish and all the other, all the other ethnicities that are part of what makes America great, 100%.
This parade is not only a celebration for St. Patrick's Day, but also a day to celebrate the diverse community. In Tarrytown, I'm Allison Valenti.
That's all from us, but stay tuned.
Coming up, we're going to sing out with a special guest, but first, a word from our favorite drink, Suppligen.
Drink Suppligen. Coming from your friends in Jamaica, Suppligen is packed with 11 grams of protein, 9 vitamins, and 6 minerals for your energy.
Suppligen. I love Suppligen. I love Suppligen. I love Suppligen.
Get healthy and boost it up with Suppligen.
Meet Ella. Like everyone else, Ella loves texting her friends. She also likes going for walks. The problem is, Ella likes to do both at the same time. Sometimes this leads to tripping or crossing the street without checking for cars. Ella doesn't see any of this as a problem because she's done it for years and she's been fine.
What could happen?
You wouldn't want to end up like Ella. Don't text and walk.
Hello everyone. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, Chauncey, although you probably already know who he is. Now, we all know that beavers don't speak English, but I happen to speak beaver, so I'll be translating Chauncey's answers for us. With that out of the way, let's get on to the first question. Our first student asks, as a human-sized beaver, I imagine it's easy to do human tasks like wearing clothes. Do you ever find it hard to do beaver tasks like building dams or chewing down trees? I see. Chauncey says, don't get it twisted. I can house a whole redwood in 10 minutes. Very impressive, Chauncey. I'm very impressed. Our next student asks, what are your thoughts on environmental conservation and preserving our natural habitat? Chauncey feels a deep concern for protecting our natural habitat and conserving our environment. He underscores the importance of maintaining our ecosystems and protecting the natural habitat of all animals, including humans. Very well said, Chauncey. I certainly agree. Our last question. Chauncey, do you have a driver's license? It appears Chauncey does not have a driver's license, not because the DMV discriminates against him for being a beaver, but because he keeps failing his test. It's okay, Chauncey, you'll get it next time. That's all the time we have for this segment. We'll be back after a few short messages.
The price of outdoor equipment is completely out of control. Why spend an arm and a leg on brand new equipment when Outdoor Gear Exchange Consignment has everything you could ever need to get outside and more? All with so much life left in them. Hey, looking good. Now, all you need is a little bit of fresh air. Oh, and not to mention, great customer service.
This has been Champ Chat. I'm Morgana Singho, and thank you for watching. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.